Jai Shri Krishna and welcome to all of you. The Path to Anandam series, freedom from pains and miseries to happy, healthy and peaceful life. To the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, meditation and 108 mantras. And today's, it's the series number 13. And I will be sharing the secret formula from Bhagavad Gita to develop bliss, eternal happiness, peace, and Ananda. Pranam to Guruji, Harji Maharaj. With your blessings, your guidance, your motivations, we are all together here to get your blessings. My pranam to you and all your pure soul devotees, followers, and following the path of Bhagavad Gita. I'm Satya Kalra, your host and founder of Path to Anandam, sharing the information, what I have been guided by Sushma Sharira of Harji Maharaj and Lord Krishna. And with his motivation, his guidance, whatever you see on this page, all belong to them. So pranam to Krishna Bhagwan Ji, pranam to all the brothers and sisters who have helped me on this path as well. And some of them are here present. Today, we will be discussing, addressing, and focusing on the Gita's verse, chapter 2, 64 and 65, which is a part of 108 mantras. What is the path of Anandam? Path of equanimity. How we follow it. And what do we get in return? The bliss, Anandam, prasadam. And how to receive that prasadam, the grace of Guru, the grace of God. And then our homework for action and practices. And favorite one, our sankalpa, that I am blissful, I am Anandam. Tip of the day, meditation, and then question and answers. So please have your question and answers ready for the end of the session. And our prayers as Arjuna of today, where we are all students, and many times we become the zero, like Arjuna became from hero to zero. Similarly, we feel we know everyone. We know everything. We feel we are on the top of the world. Nobody is equal to us. And at that time, Lord Krishna gives us a very big quiz to see how much Bhagavad Gita's teachings have you learned, practiced, and now it is a litmus test for you. So let's pray to Lord Krishna to continue to give us his guidance, and how we should ask for the guidance by our surrender to him and being humbled. Karpanye dosho pahat svabhava pasyami tvam dharma sammood cheta yachhasyasyani nishchitam bruhi tanme Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanyam. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanyam. As Arjuna said, my heart is overpowered by the weakness of pity. I'm dejected. I have lost all of my composure and my mind is confused. What to do, what not to do. I'm requesting you to tell me what is definitely good for me, not what I'm asking, what is good for me. I am your disciple. I surrender to you. Please instruct me, accept me as your devotee, as your follower. As Arjuna gotten out of Vishad, dejection, confusion, fear, worries, I-ness, my-ness, ego, my grandparents, my children, my cousins, and got the wisdom that he is a soul. He has to fulfill his responsibility. And then finally he says, Na jotasiti gobindam. I will not fight the battle of life. From there, he says, Karishye vachanam tav. So he become aware of his issues. And similarly, we need to do the same. Be honest with ourselves where we are and listen to Bhagavad Gita's advice, his devotees, and messages from Lord Krishna. So here Lord Krishna has become the teacher, guiding Arjuna step by step through this spiritual instruction manual, which is Srimad Bhagavad Gita, to operate our life righteously. It teaches us what to contemplate, discipline our senses, how to develop the detachment and equanimity, and finally attain the eternal happiness and peace while living in this world. And of course, beyond that. So pranam Harji Maharaj for your guidance again. And Lord, Arjuna is confused about his dharma, what to do and what not to do. And Lord Krishna is guiding him and telling him that he should focus on performing his dharma, converting every karma into dharma, live righteously. And then he tells him, yoga karme sukoshnam, samatva yog uchyate. Be equanimous. And that's where Arjuna gets confused. And in chapter 2, which is focused on the self-knowledge, Sankhya Yoga, through the path of equanimity, to the path of serene mind, calmness. And when Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, be calm, be equanimous, and that's where Arjuna is more confused, and he asked him these 4 questions. What is Sthit Prajna? What are the hallmarks of the person who is Sthit Prajna? Who is enlightened? How does he speak? What language he uses? How he walks? How does he sit? In other words, how does an enlightened person, Sthit Prajna person, deals with life and external world, where we all know it's a full of confusions, issues, problems. So how does he live? How does he deal with it? How does he solve his issues in this world? And we learned before Lord Krishna took him step by step and gave him the reasons for our sufferings. And also, step by step, he explains to him how one falls from the righteous path. So path of downfall is explained so well in verse 62 and 63 of this chapter, which we spoke about last week, where whatever we think, whatever our thoughts are, they bring the attachment to us. Then we want, our desires are raised in our system, in our mind. And if they are unfulfilled, we get very upset. And as I said, anger leads to danger. Just a one word different, one letter, D, before anger. Anger becomes danger. It takes us to danger path. We feel upset. We feel confused because our memory is gone. We are upset. We cannot think straight anymore. So from our selfish desires, this worldly desires, to disasters. And if the desires are fulfilled, then the greed comes, as we all saw that even during pandemic, how people were going to the malls and collecting all the things. Many people got so much tissue paper and so food and everything collected. And shelves in the malls start getting empty because nothing was left for the other people, because one person would not take more than enough. And then they always talk about how much stuff I have at my home. I am set, and the poor other people could not have it. This greed. And that greed takes us to disaster as well. So whether it's unfulfilled desires or desires, there is no end to it. Confusion, and path to downfall. So now today we are going to talk about path to equanimity, path to how to receive a grace of God, blissfulness, and then who attains it, this serenity of mind, the equanimity, and how. And these are the two verses are focused on that one. How to attain the serenity of mind, Anandam, bliss. And the mind is calm, one is stable. So very first one, 64 verse. Rag dvesh vimuktastu, vishyan indriyas charan, atma vashya vidya atma prasadam digachati. A person of the disciplined mind. Here it talks about atma vashya vidya atma. The person who is disciplined, whose lifestyle is disciplined, whose mind is disciplined. This is a very important word. Atma vashya vidya atma. Self-disciplined person who enjoys objects with his senses under control and free from likes and dislikes, attains the serenity of mind, grace of God, prasadam. Prasadam, grace of God. But he says, Rag dvesh vimuktastu, the person who is beyond attachment. Rag dvesh means likes and dislikes, attachment and disattachment. Who is indifferent, who is not attached to worldly things, unduly attachment, which we spoke last time. I want this. Just think about it and develop the attachment to that. And then likes and dislikes. I want this, I don't want this. We all the time we think about it. But keep in mind, this is the two sides of the same coin. I love it, I like it. I hate it, I dislike it. And how we express it through our senses. I don't like this food, I love this food. Many times you hear that, I love this food. We don't love food, we love people. But nowadays, I love this food, I hate this food. I love this music, I hate this music. Hear that all the time. I love to see these things. I love these people. I love these things. And again, we focus so much on our eyes, what we see and we like. I don't like to smell this. I like this perfume. I don't like this perfume. I like this flower. I don't like, we kind of put our nose there. And then I want to touch this. I don't want to even touch. I don't want to even go nearby these things. So all the time we are going through likes and dislikes, judging and non-judging. And judging, liking is judging, disliking is judging. As I said, is the same two sides of the coin, of the same coin. And here Lord Krishna explains that free from likes and dislikes, who enjoys sense objects with his senses, and he gives an example before, which he says that be a turtle. Yada sairate chayam kurmo agniv sarvasha indriyani indriyartha basya pragya pratishta. Our mind could only be stable when we control, use our senses whenever they are needed, not unnecessarily. Have disciplined life. Don't just go with the wind, like our mind is like a wind. That's what Lord Krishna says. It goes with the speed of wind. Don't get tangled in that one. And therefore he says, make a best use of senses. Now the question comes, we see all those things. Our five senses are active all the time. What should we do? And Lord Krishna says, don't worry about it. I gave you these senses to make a best use of it, not to get tangled in these worldly objects, which drives us crazy. So he says, use your mouth to eat whatever is necessary, but not necessarily that whatever food you see, whatever your tongue wants, your tongue is to have the mantra on your tongue. Speak good, but not abuse it. Same thing, hear the good things. Here it says, hear the good things, good music, good teachings of Lord Krishna's or other spiritual teachings or good lesson, whatever we need to live in this world, but use it only whatever we need to do, but not just filling it with too much gossip and many other things. And then sight, we should see the things which are good for us. In other words, see the goodness in others. Don't keep judging. And then smell good. Don't drive yourself through everything you want to smell. And then touch good. In other words, do good. And then think good. Don't just put our mind with the garbage of too much past memories and all that. Lord Krishna has given us a big mantra. Matta, smriti, gyan mapohanamcha. That's the verse later on comes in chapter 15, verse 15. But that is such a beautiful verse. He says, I'm sitting in everybody's heart. I will take care of your all the bad memories. You just focus on me. So we have to live in his consciousness. Then we get the blissfulness, calmness. But here it says, discipline your senses and lifestyle. Very key, important. That Atma Vashya Vidyatma. And then we should have some higher goal. We have many goals in our life. And every goal, every action, when we tailored ourselves, focusing on his creation, serving the creation, sarva bhuti terata, then our action automatically becomes as a karma yoga. Yoga karmesu koshnam. Whatever we do it with the best interest of the universe, with the wisdom. Sarva bhut hite rata. And our goal must be a higher goal, that I want to experience the divinity. I want to experience the blessing of God. I want to get that blessing of prasad. That's our goal should be. So many times we get confused. What is Lord Krishna is talking about prasadam here? That one gets the prasad. To me, prasad, and we most of the time we get prasad laddus and go to temple and look for prasad, you know. But here he means different type of prasad, though that prasad is very important as well. But here he talks about the blessing comes who is beyond the egos, who is not just me, mine, and getting upset with the whatever he gets and does not get. He gets upset, and whatever he gets, he jumps up and down. The people who jump up and down more, they are the one who feel sad also. It's just the same ratio. If they are jumping up and down, they will go in depression when they do not get the things as well. And this is where it talks about we do not develop the jealousy for the people who received it and we did not get it. Adveshta sarva bhutana. So no hatred toward anybody. Free from attachment. Rag dvesh vimuktastu. Free from desires and greed and worries. And person becomes very content, free from all, and then he gets the wisdom. Why? Because this grace of God is the energy of serenity, which we experience, calmness, samatva yoga. That's where we feel we are totally united with Lord Krishna, with supreme power, with our divinity within ourselves, which is called Chit Ananda. So through that vibration, through that energy, we receive the wisdom, which is then called grace of God, and we all experience it. Though this Laddu Prasad is also very important. When we go to temple, we get the prasadam, we feel like by eating, we will heal our issues. It will calm us down because that energy is in that food also, but that is also just goes to our physical body, and from physical body, it goes to our inner body. But by focusing on supreme power, we get this. So what are the benefits? Lord Krishna says, these are the benefits. You become a source of that bliss because this prasade, sarva dukkhanam, hani asus prajayate, prasanne chetasya hyashu, buddhis parvatishtate. Our buddhi, we totally are sit in a buddhi yoga. Our pragya pratishtha, from buddhi yoga, we go to equanimity. Sthit pragya, we become sthit pragya. We develop that enlightenment within ourselves. Though it is kind of temporary, we get it for a short period of time, and we all have experienced it. But our goal here is to continue to experience more and more and more. So with the attachment of such serenity of mind, this attainment, receiving the serenity of mind, all of our suffering, gile shikwe, all disappear. We feel content, and soon the intellect of such person of tranquility mind attains equanimity. Thus he unites with the eternal being. He's always in Anandam. And when he is in Anandam, he becomes the source of Anandam. Automatically his body, his wife's, his electromagnetic field of his body, aura, shares with others. The person does not have to speak to other person. Many times we go to gurus and saints, and we sit there, and all of a sudden they start giving us the advice how to solve certain issues in our life without even asking, because their aura is so strong. They read our inner being, what we have in our mind. So once, and this is a question, fourth question which Arjuna asked, how he deals with life, how his sufferings are gone. This is the answer, and it carries on. It will go all the way up to 72 verses from here on. But the end of the suffering, calmness, equanimity, unity of divinity. And then when he's united or she's united, one is united, then they experience peace and Anandam, Chit Ananda, where Arjuna experienced that. And his delusion was gone, his worries were gone, his ego was gone, he totally became free. And he experienced his inner being. He realized who he was. He was not just as an Arjuna who was crying, dejected. He was a Kshatriya. And then he says, Karishe Vachanam Tav. So this is how we get the wisdom that our purpose of life is to experience that inner being, Satchit Ananda. That's why Buddha says, blissful is the way. And how to get the blissfulness? The calmness of the mind is very, very important. So our homework, we should ask the questions. If we do not ask the question to ourselves, we would not know where we are and where we want to go there. So inner being, happiness, eternal happiness brings the calmness to the mind. So we all strive for getting the calmness and happiness. We want instant coffee, instant, go to Starbucks. It's just like we want the happiness all the time, but instant. And it requires some more work. So the first thing we should do, ask ourselves, am I happy? And if I'm unhappy, why am I unhappy? What is the supreme goal of my life? It's just this temporary things, whatever I see with external eyes, whatever I experience with my mouth, whatever I taste, whatever I see, whatever I hear, all those many things come from the external world, from nature, from Maya. All are temporary. They are not the source of wisdom and happiness. So, question comes, what do I think most of the time? Because that takes us to path to Anandam or path to downfall. If we think about the worldly things, then the path to downfall is there. But if we think, live in the consciousness of supreme power, then path to Anandam comes. So make a list of your thoughts, desires, what upsets me, how I speak. Pay attention, live in awareness. That's what it says, AAA, awareness. Live in awareness like Arjuna. Arjuna become aware that he cannot perform his duty because his mind is confused. If we have any problem with our body, as I always mention, we have to take care of it. If emotional issues, we have to be aware of it and work toward through the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, daily practices, and rather than running around name and fame, we should focus. And this again on the action now. We know so much about Bhagavad Gita, so much we all know about it. This session, our sessions are mainly on the action, how to practice it. So self-disciplining means what? Follow the teachings of Lord Krishna, Bhagavad Gita. Make best use of our sense controls. We should not run after them, but make them best use of it. Have a higher goal in life through selfless desires, selfless service, karma yoga, bhakti yoga. Have a love and compassion in our heart and live in his consciousness. And once we do that, Other things automatically come. Bhakti, karma yoga, that wisdom automatically comes. As you can see it here. Do our best. Focus on our inner being. Do our best. Sarva dharma paritajye. Mamekam sharanam vraj. Aham tam sarpapebhyo mokshashyami ma shucha. Don't worry. Arjuna, don't worry. You just focus on your dharma, your action, and I will take care of it. So, in summary, self-discipline, divine thoughts, takes us to detachment, selfless desires, karma yoga, dharma yoga, bhakti yoga, divinity. Then we develop equanimity, and then eternal happiness, peace, anandam comes automatically. So here is for self-disciplining, daily spiritual planner for developing the equanimity. Same thing, I put it here just to remind ourselves. Follow the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, divinity, focusing on the divinity, have a supreme goal in our life. Why am I here? Where am I going to go from here? How am I going to go? How am I going to experience Chit Ananda and make best use of our senses? I put it again here. And then the freedom, the equanimity comes, as you can see how the butterfly, all the concerns, everything goes, and then Anandami, Anandam. We are blessed with it. And we, with that blessing, we also, whenever we are disheartened, sometimes we don't want to do things, we are in miseries, we basically get the freedom from our stress, miseries, pains, suffering. And that is the basic requirement to get the wisdom. Calm mind. So our sankalpa, we have to have a sankalpa that my mind is serene. I have a disciplined life to reach to the equanimity and experience happy, healthy, and peaceful life, and experience ultimately Chit Ananda. But as I always say, taking sankalpa, but we have to be self-disciplined to practice it, because it's not like a quick instant. It's a very, very slow process, because once we get onto we succeed on one thing, and all of a sudden new challenges come, new litmus tests come, and sometimes we fail, sometimes we pass, but we continue to have encouragement, and move on, because we have a promise from Lord Krishna. Ma Shuche, don't worry, I am with you. I will take care of you. So thank you very much to attend this session. Develop the bliss, peace, Anandam, and be on the path to Anandam. Experience happy, healthy, and peaceful life. Chit Ananda. In our next session, the meditation session, I'm blessed, I'm peaceful, I am Anandam. That's the mantra, today's mantra. I am equanimous. Today is our session. All the process of how to be equanimous, Lord Krishna has completed that up to this verse. Now there are only going to be the benefits. What are the benefits we are going to receive?